You are now entering a dangerous liberty zone where God-given natural rights are held sacred and exercised. This is your warning. Tyranny, fascism, and censorship will not be tolerated. Ideas will be exchanged freely. Rigorous debate and open discourse is encouraged. If you are weak and your beliefs are fragile, you should leave now. Prepare yourself. We are now live on the Dangerous Liberty Podcast. What is happening, everybody? Hope everybody out there is having a good Saturday. I was having a good Saturday until this morning. I wasn't planning on going live today. I was looking forward to a day off, but then some things dropped, and I think it's just super important that we address them right off the bat. I do want to welcome my fabulous co-host and producer of the show, Jen. Thanks for jumping in here real quick.
Not a problem. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Can't believe we're doing this on a Saturday.
Yep, I called Jen. I was like, hey, I'm going live. Hope you're ready. You got 30 minutes.
The crazies never take a break. It's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. And strangely enough, I got a text from, he decided to send this to me last night, Project Constitution, which will be the object of our affection today. But before we get into all of that, I do want to say hi to everybody out there, and I hope you are having a good Saturday. I'm going to say hi to Tammy McDonald, Debbie Blue, Love USA 595, Gina Faye, Holly Eldred, Just Saying For Sure, Oscar Leroy, and many, many more. Folks, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in, and we are going to bring you some truth. Now, I know a lot of people have already kind of beaten me to the punch on this, and already started putting out videos debunking these things, and that's fine. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. But the reason I think it's so important is because once things like this get out, what's the old saying? A lie goes around the world before the truth even has time to put its shoes on. Once things like this goes out, you can never correct the record totally, or at least it takes 10 times, 20 times, 30 times the amount of effort to correct the record once these salacious, sensational nonsense goes out, and it's happening all over X especially. I also know I've been talking to people that are big on TikTok. We have an account on there, but I'm never on there. It's all over TikTok as well, and I'm sure it's all over other social media platforms, but X is what I was paying attention to today. So, I guess we'll just jump right into this. So let me show you what I woke up to this morning. Was this post right here, and I'm just going to make this big and let you guys see what's happening. We're going to play this audio. So this is what we got from Project Constitution, one of the biggest grifters, and thankfully, just a few minutes ago, all right, we finally got a community notes on this after it was seen by over 9 million people, and really more than that. And I'll tell you, I know right here it's saying 8.4 million, but I'll tell you where that 9+ million comes from, because it was reposted by a lot of other people. The smoking gun. Leaked DOJ wiretap audio captures Erika Kirk scheduling underage girls for Epstein. That title right away lets you kind of know where we're going with this. I have been sent a bombshell audio file, and I have verified its authenticity. This is not a rumor. This is not a theory. This is a recorded phone call from DOJ's own website, hidden in plain sight within the released Epstein files, data set 9. Now, I'll just tell you right now, this is an actual call from the Epstein files. The direct link is posted below for anyone to check in the whatever. The audio captures a young girl who clearly is an informant for the DOJ on the recorded phone call with Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk, bold. You can hear the DOJ agents coaching the girl before and after the call. This is their second attempt to get Erika to incriminate herself and Jeffrey Epstein. The voice is undeniably Erika Kirk's. There is no mistaking it. And what she says on the call is absolutely damning. In the audio, Erika confirms she is working directly for Jeffrey Epstein. The informant asks about getting paid, and Erika says it out loud. She says, the more you do, the more you get paid. And I want you to pay attention to that little phrase right there, because it's going to be relevant in just a few minutes. She then reveals her specific role. She is the one making the schedule for the young girl. But most horrifying part of this, the informant says, I can bring my sister too, so you can get paid more money for her also. Erika's response, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm working tomorrow, and me and him are going to put a schedule together for you and your sister. Let that sink in. Erika Kirk was not just an associate. She was a scheduler, a procurer. She was getting commission or kickback for providing young girls to Epstein's child trafficking ring, sex trafficking ring. This is direct, undeniable proof from the Department of Justice own evidence locker that links Erika Kirk to the core Epstein criminal enterprise. This is a huge story. This is the confirmation we've been waiting for. The DOJ has had this evidence all along. The DOJ file, why wasn't this headline on every news channel in the world? Share this with everywhere. They can't hide this anymore. And we're going to look at some of the comments and some of the people that shared this, but we're going to go ahead and play this.
Second phone call attempt at 4:26 p.m. Hello? Hey, what's up? I talked to Jeffrey, and I'm going to his house tomorrow morning, and I'm taking my son. He's gonna set something up for you now.
Well, like, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow morning when I go to his house about it.
How much? Like, would I get paid? Last time?
Talk to him. I'll talk to him tomorrow, and then I'll bring you in the next day and talk to him about it.
How much do you think? I don't know what I want to do, and I just wanted an idea.
I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to him about it. I mean, I don't really work for him like that. I just bring girls to him, and they work for him. So you're gonna have to talk to him about it. That's what I'm saying. When you work for him, I'll bring you in, and you can ask him before you work. Like, what can I do to make more money?
Yeah, well, like, what if I don't have to do it, you get paid more money?
The more you do, the more you get paid. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Talk to him about it.
Want me to bring my sister for you, so like you could get paid more or something, or how much?
Well,
a girl?
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm working tomorrow, and me and him are gonna put a schedule together for you and your sister. So I'll call you tomorrow when I leave Jeffrey with the schedule.
Alright, well, okay. Alright, that's good. That sounds good. But like, I don't have a phone all the time, so if you guys called me, I'd have to know what time so I could get the phone.
Okay, well, what time? Well, why don't you? Okay, I'll leave you a message. That's fine. I'll leave you a message tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, bye.
She just knows something. She said she doesn't work here.
That's fine. That's fine. You did great. Give me a high five.
Good, because she was throwing. She
threw you.
she's a tough girl.
Yeah. You know, but you did really
That freaked you out.
because she's like, well, I'm sitting up.
Schedule for you and your sister
She's setting up a schedule.
with him.
All right. So that's the file that she played.
She
Now,
knows
first
that
of all,
normally
Second phone call.
all right. So first and foremost, when I heard this the first time, it doesn't sound like there's a similar tone to this person's voice, right? As far as the actual speech pattern and cadence, completely different in my opinion. Completely different in my opinion. Doesn't sound like Erika Kirk from the beginning, but of course that's what he alleges. And then you go through and you look at the comments. The comments in here are unbelievable. I'm sure they're starting to get cleaned up a little bit. But on the immediate, when this was first posted, everybody on here was like, we got her, all of these things. And these people are reposting, including Ian Carroll and many other big accounts that I went through and responded to. I mean, it is unbelievable. And then my response to all of this was this right here. And I want you to see this because I took some time to write this out and I think it puts it in words, but they are trying to get Erika Kirk murdered. This has to stop now. And I mean that. There is no other thing that you can point to, and understand that this comes on the heels of the last two episodes of Candace Owens, where she is intentionally trying to directly link Erika Kirk with zero evidence, by the way, with nothing more than innuendo, suggestion, no evidence at all that she was ever associated with Erika Kirk. And by the way, I mean, with Jeffrey Epstein. And by the way, you would think that such a phone call would be well known. Well, it is. And let's continue reading this. Real Candace Owens and Project Constitution, among others, are relentlessly pushing a narrative that paints Erika Kirk as a child trafficker with direct ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Candace is dedicated multiple podcast episodes in this investigation to desperately trying and failing to manufacture a connection. Now they're amplifying a supposed recording irresponsibly attributed to Erika. It doesn't even sound like her. Voice analysis and context strongly point to it being Haley Robson, which we will talk about in a minute, matching her prior testimony exactly. This is no accident. They're deliberately converging to the most volatile, rage-inducing topics in fringe circles right now. The endless Epstein files obsession, which, by the way, there's already been an attempt on Trump's life by someone that was obsessed with the Epstein files that went to Mar-a-Lago and was there to kill Donald Trump over the Epstein files. The deranged Candace cult convinced Erika somehow orchestrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Zero credible evidence supports any of it. Official records, timelines, and public documents show Erika has never been linked to Epstein, trafficking, or any related crimes. Yet the accusations keep escalating, including the moron in the super chat in a minute, which we will address directly as well. Charlie was assassinated for standing firm as a principled conservative. Erika is already a lightning rod for radical left because she's the widow and now leads Turning Point USA. So she's already a target. If nothing else had happened, nothing else was thrown at her, no other accusations and smear campaigns were being directed at her, she would still be a target for assassination just because of her association with Charlie Kirk to begin with. But pile on baseless claims of child trafficking and Epstein involvement. That's not just character assassination. It's a death threat by proxy. This kind of rhetoric guarantees she'll be targeted by unstable people with violent impulses. The object appears clear: incite harm, silence her, and destroy her legacy. Reasonable people across the spectrum, left, right, and center, need to stand up and say, enough. This isn't journalism or truth-seeking. It's reckless endangerment disguised as investigation. And by the way, it took me about 3 minutes to debunk this whole thing. So I'm going to show you real quick. Number one, you start looking for this, do a quick Google search about recordings, and Haley Robson comes up. And by the way, one of the things that you can find immediately is this little document right here. I'm going to throw this up here. This is sworn testimony from her. And I want you to notice, and it's really hard, for me to read, but this is sworn testimony by Haley Robson. And you can see Robson stated, "The more you do, the more you get paid." That's a direct quote from this recording that was in 2005. 2005, folks. Erika Kirk was 16 years old. Erika Kirk was 16 years old in 2005. So there's that. And let me go ahead and address this nonsense. Erika's charity in Romania. What about it? She had a charity in Romania. Now, what Candace has tried to do is take a whole lot of words with zero evidence linking her to anything that was criminal or anything else. She tried to make her look bad because she was working with the U.S. Marine Corps, who's not going to be associated with anything illegal. They have been doing, all branches of the Army, but especially the Marine Corps, has been doing charity work with Toys for Tots for a really long time and working with different charity organizations. That stuff is vetted through legal and everything else, and the other people that are involved get vetted. If anything, that's additional proof that there was no wrongdoing. There is not one piece of evidence that indicates that Erika Kirk has done anything wrong. There's a lot of slander, a lot of everything that so far that Candace has put forward. And I know because we watched them together. I keep hearing, well, if you just watch the whole video or the whole series, or I've watched it all, folks. I know exactly what she's been saying, and people that are watching right now that watch our channel regularly can attest to that. Everything that she has labeled and put at the feet of Erika Kirk and her mother, by the way, amount to nothing more than gossip. Nothing more than gossip. We have absolutely no evidence of wrongdoing or attached to any sort of trafficking or anything else. This is a slander campaign, and unfortunately, it's a very effective one. Her inappropriate text with a 15-year-old girl, that has been debunked. We've had Lisa Knows on. We've talked about it at length. There's nothing there. You could even say, look, I will say this. On the face of it, it looks inappropriate and probably was. With that being said, that's as far as you can get. This is well over 10, 12 years ago, something like that. That there's a far cry from an inappropriate text to she was grooming her, which was the allegation made. And that's a huge difference. Candace coverage about what she was working for in New York. She's got nothing. She alleges that there are people, anonymous sources, that says that she went to this modeling agency for meetings. And then she goes and says, well, Jeffrey Epstein was regularly going to that modeling agency and was there. So again, that's alleged as well. Like, we don't even have anything that corroborates that information. It's hearsay upon hearsay upon hearsay, and it all leads to slandering, defaming Erika Kirk with zero evidence whatsoever. Nobody should be taking this seriously, but yet these morons do. Gary, you are a shill. I am not a shill. Again, we're out here covering the truth. We're providing evidence, and that's what these people are allergic to. I do want to throw this up here as well, real quick. And Bill Fisher did a great job. I think he really summarizes what's going on here. It's a complete leftist tactic. Paint your enemy in the worst terms, whip up the loonies, and repeat it over and over again until someone does the dirty work for you because they believe in the villain you are, the villain you created. Like you said, it's obvious at this point. And that's what this is. They create these narratives. They come up with this, just a slander and gossip campaign is what this is. And they repeat it over and over and over and over again until everybody believes, oh, there's something weird going on with Erika. And it's like an office gossip campaign against somebody else. I've seen this happen 100 times. I've just never seen it on a global scale like what we're seeing with this. And most people would be, even within the office, like, dude, you're just making stuff. That's hearsay. Don't spread that around. But not here, because we have no adults in the room. It's infuriating and it's insanity at the same time. I did want to show you guys as well. Now, I will say this. Candace did come out, again, after we got over 9 million views on this thing, and plus some. All right, the audio going around is not Erika Kirk. It was sent to me many times over the last month. My team was able to debunk it, which is why we did not include it in our series. Erika's verified connection to Epstein's orbit is via Faith Cates, Next Model Management, which it is not verified. There's nothing verified that Erika Kirk has ever come in direct contact with Epstein. And I mean by direct contact, a phone call, an email, or anything else. There's nothing that ties Erika Kirk to Jeffrey Epstein. What is convenient here is, again, we have a hot issue, Jeffrey Epstein, and she's trying to somehow link. We don't even know if the time period, if it's even correct. When Erika Kirk was there and Jeffrey Epstein, even on the basis of the allegation, maybe he went there all the time. I don't know. We've never seen anything to prove that. But was that during the time that Erika Kirk was there? I doubt it. So she has distanced herself from this, and because it's just too dumb. Like I said, it took me 3 minutes to find this information, and people are going on, and there's more damning information regarding what Project Constitution is saying. Now, I could go through Project Constitution's timeline and pull up just salacious BS that he has put out, especially against Erika Kirk, time and time and time again. All right. We were kind of and if I had more time, I would have done so. But the guy, and he's no different from the rest of them. I mean, he's slightly worse. He's slightly worse. I was just looking at, apparently there's rankings on the people that are most hit with community notes. Forgot what it's called. But Stu Peters was like 30th or something like that. That guy's been hit with more community notes than just about anybody on the planet. And he'll be pushing this stuff too. So there is a huge network within Candace Owens' orbit that has continued to push this, defame, slander on this campaign against TPUSA, Erika Kirk, and of course, continuing the grift that is surrounding this entire conspiracy nonsense, in spite of so much evidence against what they're saying. Jen, I've kind of filibustered a whole bunch there. You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, if you look down on Project Constitution's post,
Yep.
you'll see this isn't it's like in the comments of the post. I'm going to put it up here.
Yep, please do.
This is what he put. This post is my personal opinion and interpretation of publicly available materials. All claims regarding the identity of voices in this provided audio are based on my own research and belief. This post should be viewed as an investigative commentary and not as an absolute statement of fact. Now, this was only seen by 286,000 people, whereas the actual post where he said it's undeniably her, and this is proof, was seen by 7.2 million. So this is what he does to try to keep him from getting sued.
And by the way, it wouldn't work. All right, this disclaimer after the fact would not save him from any sort of liability on this whatsoever.
It's just disgusting to me
It
that
really
these
is.
people are out doing this. And I don't know if you saw there are so many candy canes out in our comments today. It's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. And you know what? Somebody was talking about, well, before I banned her and realized what she was doing. Somebody was talking about this was a little clickbaity. It was clickbaity. As a matter of fact, I talked to Jim before this. I wanted something that would entice the candy heads to come in so they could actually hear some truth. And you guys know I try to stay away from clickbait titles, much to my it doesn't help me, right? Like part of getting views is putting out clickbait titles, and I try to avoid that as much as possible. But the insanity that is going on with all of this, when you look at it as a whole, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I know Patriot Dad, he's been putting out some content on this. Artie Trolls, he's in the comments from what I saw. I actually invited him to come on. He put out another good video. You guys need to go watch that. But the fact is, we need to see this for what it is. And again, when it's coming from our side, no matter what we put out, I don't care. You take some of the biggest names on the side of truth. Nothing we put out is going to get 9 million views plus. It's just not, because their people are working hard to push the disinformation. They don't care if it's true. They don't vet it. All they want to do is just smear and defame Erika, because that's what they want to do, and TPUSA, and ultimately Charlie's legacy. And that's the goal here. And there's so many different objectives that they're achieving because of that. It's destroying MAGA, it's destroying the right, the conservative party. We may very well end up losing the midterms, and they're like, good. They are complicit in destroying this country, and that's what they want to do. And they want to tear down something like TPUSA that's done nothing but good for this country. Let me hit a few of these super chats. I'm not going to stay on here too long, folks. Gary already showed the Epstein files. That proves it's Haley Robinson. Just watched it. Yep. I looked those up too, and I had them earlier this morning. I just didn't get a chance to throw it all together here. But Artie always does great work. And I saw his thumbnail. I haven't watched his video yet. Imagine a grown woman acting like a child when she doesn't get her way. Here's an idea. Maybe she should get off YouTube and be a mother. Leave Erika alone. Agreed. What Candace is doing is trying to expose the filth that runs this world. It takes digging and uncovering what's been hidden forever. Well, she's not doing it any justice. And folks, one of the problems with this, what she's doing is she's undermining all independent media. And I've talked about this in the past. I reshared a post. It was Timcast. He was basically saying the exact same thing. This is an attempt to have such crappy but yet amplified independent journalism that people are going to make the case that we need to go back to the mainstream media. And that's another thing I want to share with you, because this is absolutely true. Let me pull this up. This is one of the posts I put out, and all right, let me share this tab instead here and make sure it's up there. Right here. All right, I posted IQ test for idiots, the Erika Kirk recording. This recording of Erika, released by the liar, disinfo operative, and grifter Project Constitution, was an IQ test. If you bought into it, just know you're an absolute gullible moron. He, like his cult leader Candace Owens, knows what they're putting out is utter BS. But they also know idiots exist who will believe, share, and defend it. They realize you have an uncontrolled proclivity to believe sensational despite common sense, logic, or facts. You're not objective, you're brainwashed. They know idiots will choose narrative over truth every time, and they capitalize on your gullibility, stupidity, and complete lack of critical thinking. It took me 3 minutes to find out this recording was actually Haley Robson and matched her testimony. If you were convinced by this drivel and shared it, you failed the test. Accept the fact that you're one of the low IQ morons that MSM used to manipulate, but now grifters on social media took over as your master. Who's an idiot? You. And that's the problem with, just like that we had this statement right here. What people are willing to do is say, oh, she's trying to uncover. Well, she's not uncovering. She's not providing any evidence or anything. It's not compelling to the rational among us. Now, if you just want to believe stuff, believe it. If you're willing to be tricked and you're like, you know what? I don't want to be tricked by the U.S. government. I'm not going to be tricked by MSM, but I will gobble up horse shit from any of my favorite social media stars. That's what you're saying. Because she's not uncovering anything if she can't back it up with actual evidence. And she hasn't. She hasn't. Yes, there's a lot of evil people that run the world. There's a lot of people evil that are involved in politics and everything else. But what you need to bring to the table is truth and evidence. And if you're just willing to accept the narrative, no matter how untrue it is, because it supports your worldview, you are the problem. That's how people get brainwashed. And it actually indicates that you're already brainwashed because you're not objective and you can't think critically. That's what that indicates. Solo journey. How unhappy must you be with your life to sit around and make such horrid accusations about somebody you've never met? I mean, how bored do you have to be to get to that point? And I'll tell you, like, I will still say the last two, well, all of it. I mean, the last several weeks of Candace Owens and this ridiculous series that she went through where she provides zero evidence of anything is just as bad. It's just as bad as this. It's just a little less obvious. I never call for censorship, but Project Constitution has fabricated proof against Erika Kirk way too many times. He should be banned. I agree. He's not paying. Look, he's going to get money from every single one of those views in spite of the community notes. As far as I understand, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe if your community noted, they take away that that financial incentive, but I'm sure he will. Candace, January 2016, said, I faked it a lot more times than I'm comfortable with admitting. And by more times than I'm comfortable admitting, I mean like 6,214 and a half times. Yeah, I think she was talking about something else there. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that article, and it's, yeah, it is unconscionable. It really is. If Candace was trying to expose Phil, she should start with the Tate brothers. I agree. And folks, this goes back to what I'm saying. If at this point, people can sit there and say, we just need to ignore Candace and she will go away. Like, you're on crack. This is what happens. She has built an industry, and then there's a cottage industry all around her with hundreds of other creators that are pushing this stuff out because they see that there's an appetite for it. And there's very few people that are out there bringing truth to the table and pushing back on this, because you know why? It is not, it definitely doesn't get you views. You don't win a popularity contest off of this stuff. And then all you get is trashed, you get doxxed, you get threatened. You have to deal with these crazy people. Like, there is no benefit to doing this, but it's super important. And that's when you know that it's the most important thing that you could do. And that's why I've been telling you folks out there, Project Constitution didn't get over 9 million views, and it's probably much greater than that because a lot of people are stealing it and then reposting it as their own. Because he didn't get those 9 million views because he was one person that shared it. It was because 9 million other people, little accounts, shared that information as well. And that's how that we amplify our voices. And when you guys are out there sharing content like ours or anybody else, I don't have to share my content. I'm not even advocating that, right? I'm not even, trying to get you to share my content. Like, share the truth, whatever that is, and then push back on this stuff. The fact is that evil is winning because they're working harder. They're doing more work. And we're just sitting back. We're like, all right, we got this thing figured out. All right, we see what's happening here. Now we just go back to the other thing. I don't want to comment. I don't want to like the post. I don't know why. And I'm speaking to myself too. Conservatives, we're very careful about what we share. Very careful. And we're very hesitant to do that. But the evil left, and I'm just going to lump all of them in there. That's the liberals. That's the Candy Cult. That's the Ian Carrolls. That's the Baron Colemans. That's all of them. The hate Israel first crowd. man, they will share it without a thought. They'll amplify that message 1,000 times over, and they're winning, And I know a lot of conservatives out there are still under the thought process. Hey, you know what? Social media doesn't matter. It's not real. It is more real than your reality, because this is where the fight is taking place. This is where it's happening. This is where other countries are beating the United States. This is where the left is beating conservatives. Like truth, this whole idea that, oh, truth will just prevail on its own. The hell it will. The hell it will. It's not gonna just prevail on its own. It needs you to get behind it. And people, I'm like, I don't know what to say, man. Conservatives are stuck in a mindset that's 20 years old, and the left gets it, and all these other people get it, and we just don't.
So Gary,
Um,
when I
go
started
ahead.
posting some stuff from the show, when I started posting a couple clips from the show the other night,
Yes,
when we
ma'am.
were talking about Candy, I had multiple, I'm going to say about probably 10 or 15 people that are longtime followers of my social media accounts
Yep.
yell at me and tell me how mean I am because I said I was going to dig into Candy. And I'm like, I'm the mean one. I'm the mean one. And I just told him, I said, if you follow Candace, I don't want you as a follower.
No, no. Like you are so susceptible to brain rot that like there's not even a reasonable and rational discussion to be had with you at this point. That's how I feel about this, folks. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And maybe I'm just jaded at this point, but like there is no convincing these people. No matter how many times that you address these things factually, that you bring up actual, like all they respond with is, you're paid by the Jews. Candy always brings receipts. She's proven this. I wish I had time to. There was all these comments today on YouTube today saying Candace has proven that Erika Kirk is into child trafficking. I mean, that comment that we got in the super chat is one of them. It's proven.
Yeah.
It's an established fact now, and there's nothing proving it. All she did was throw up a bunch of stuff. She dazzled people with a quantity of information. None of it was real evidence of anything. And they're winning because of it. But it's something to behold and to watch.
Well, I'm still waiting for that $7,000 check to come any day now.
Right? It's crazy. Crystal WV, I've noticed the more they saturate the media networks with garbage, it shows up on AI and ChatGPT as if it's factual. I think this is the goal, to make the truth hard to research. Absolutely it is. Stay safe and always carry. I got to go. Have a great one. Thank you, GS70 Stealth. We appreciate you, buddy. What federal agency were you a unit chief for? Well, it's down in the description, my bio. I work for the Department of State Diplomatic Security, and I ran a training program. So that's what I did, bud. And then after that, I left and I was doing security work at embassies and consulates. Thanks for this, Gary. Project Constipation really should be ashamed of himself. Romans 1 is in full play in 4K. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, like it's an information war, people, and we are losing it. We are losing that information war for sure. People who believe Candace says is dumb and stupid and as evil as Candace. Yeah, like, just on the face of it, it completely shatters all the society norms that we used to accept. And it's okay with people because people are just gobbling it up, man. It is pornography. It's brain pornography. It really is. Yeah, look, I see this all the time. I'm not even going to read it. We got to be careful about how we push back, and I understand the sentiment behind this, and I understand we don't want to undermine our credibility now. If you have evidence of this stuff, now I would say that we have just as much evidence to support this narrative as she does with TPUSA or whatever else. I mean, she's clearly gained a lot from his death. She clearly had beef with him before his death. All of those things apply. I just don't want to. I want to keep the moral ground on this. Make sure that we stay as truthful and as fact-based and evidence-based as we possibly can. But I understand the sentiment. Yeah, this is exactly right. People want exciting gossip, not truth. Look, this is how the human brain works. This is why, the Jerry Springer show was the #1 show all throughout the 90s. And we knew it was all fake, but it's dramatic. It's entertaining. That's why soap operas are so addicting and entertaining. Heidi Donahoe 296. Keep putting truth out, Gary. You are appreciated. Yes, and I appreciate you guys appreciating me, but the one thing I'm trying to get across to you guys is I can't be the only one. Like everybody out there, share, push back, like do whatever you can do. If you want to start a channel, I'll help you. I'll get you on here. We'll boost you. Like we got to get more people that are armed with the truth out there trying to getting that, I don't know, like truth's important. It's literally the fabric of our republic. Like if we can bend the truth or we allow people to constantly bend the truth, you can convince them of anything. We got to hold people to a higher standard. And again, I have no problem with Candace asking questions or investigating all this stuff. There's a correct way and an incorrect way to do this. And that is you vet this information behind the scenes. You find evidence to support it and you present it. You don't just make up evidence and you don't just tie a bunch of circumstantial things together that have no connections, connect those dots, even though there are no connections, and just continue to talk, throw up other information, add other people into the narrative constantly and like confuse everybody. And if you're somebody that trusts her at the end of it, she's going to conclude, look, Lori was an evil person. Erika is an evil person. They're clearly tied to the death of Charlie Kirk or trying to cover it up or whatever. I don't even know what her, stance is. It's all of those. She kind of keeps a foot on all of those things. Thanks, Gary, for standing strong for truth. It's beyond brave going against all the threats and doxing. God bless you and your family. Please stay safe. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. What else? What else, Jen?
I just really hope that they are following the money and looking into the bot farms, because I wholeheartedly believe, like we've talked about before, there's foreign money backing all of this, or at least a good majority of it, and whether they're receiving actual payments from foreign nationals or, like you were saying the other day, they're getting so much engagement from bot farms that they're making money a legal way, but it's definitely influenced by foreign governments or foreign entities.
Yeah, and there's so many benefits of that, and why I think that's taking place. And the main benefit of that is, again, if I'm Russia, for instance, and I decide, you know what, this person in the United States, Candace Owens or somebody else, is pushing a narrative that I really like. Well, I'm going to establish a bunch of bot farms. I have literally state-sponsored capabilities to maximize this using AI, using other things like that. So I spend $1 million on a bot farm, and I'm essentially giving this person multiple millions of dollars worth of signal boost. And then on top of that, I'm going around and I am trying to undermine her detractors and her opposition or critics, which is what's taking place. I don't know how you like at our level for sure. Now, if you're the state, if you're the United States government and have the intelligence apparatus available to you and all the resources that go along with that, you can probably track that down and find out that information. I think what's unique about this campaign is a couple of things. Number one, it's probably almost untraceable from a standpoint of, just the public. Number two, it makes it appear more organic than it is, because all you see is the supporters and everything else. And I think there's multiple people involved in that, multiple entities, if you will, whether they be political, foreign. You guys have heard what I've said before, but I think it's happening. And this is speculation on my part, but I think it's pretty clear. What I can tell you for sure is I know there's bots, and I know there's these sock puppet accounts. You can go through my account, you can go through my comments, and just start things that look odd. You're like, oh, check out this account. It has like 5 followers. You can literally in Grok, if you're on X, you can literally say, Grok, does this person put the account in there appear to be a sock puppet account? I've posted that hundreds of times now. It's like, yes, this has every indicator that this is a sock puppet account or a bot account. And here's why. And it goes through and breaks it all down. Now, what I would like to see is some more security features that limit those things on X. And, Elon Musk, if anyone has the capabilities, he does. And, hopefully he'll do something with that.
Well, I think that would be a good way to go, where if you are on social media, you would have to show some kind of identification to get online, and you could only have one account. And that would eliminate a lot of this stuff. The other thing is, with AI, and as smart as people that we have in this country, why hasn't someone come up, developed some type of software to analyze all of the traffic without having to go into her analytics? There's got to be a way to look at the engagement and track where it's coming from. I know it's hard with proxies and VPNs and stuff like that, but there has to be some kind of workaround to figure out if it's real engagement or bot farm engagement.
I think you would need access to the infrastructure itself. So you'd have to be X or YouTube or whatever other social media platform to be able to really track some of that information down, or
Yeah, they're not
be
going
a
to do
third
that.
party that has access to that. And you're right, they're not going to do that. And that's like they're using this vulnerability against us because there's no way for us to prove. And even VPNs, it's great that Elon made it to where if an account is listed in Singapore, that it comes up, but you can be in Singapore, throw a VPN up, and you're going to be listed in the United States. So these are, we're throwing cups of water at a forest fire, and it's a problem. What if we directly support the companies that compete with Candace Owens supporters? Sure. I mean, I think anything. Look, I mean, it won't hurt, but I don't think it's going to do anything. Like, I think the way that we win this is the same way that they're fighting it, and that is through the information wars. And we've got to get more people engaged. We got to get more ground soldiers. Candace has millions of ground soldiers on the ground fighting for her every single day, sending super chats so they can talk smack and just point out the fact that Candace has no evidence. Like, they're willing to do this. They're willing to invest their time, money, energy, and effort because for whatever reasons. On the other side of this, we're like, I don't want to get involved. This is a great comment. I want to address this. Marie Joey said, 126 says, the truth gets us doxxed, and this is why people like me have to be careful what we post because city jobs always find out and will fire us. Yeah, so the left and all these people are utilizing a lot of different things, like VPNs, like alternate accounts, all of these things. And they're doing this much more intelligently than we are. And we're conservatives. Let me tell you something. I was thinking about this the other day. When I first got my X account, I was like, I'm putting my name on there. I don't care. Like, I'm not afraid if people find out who I am. Ultimately, looking back, if I'd have known more about all of this stuff, I probably would have done that differently. If nothing else, for the safety, security of my family. That was probably that was probably hubris on my part. Because again, yeah, I'm not afraid, but I can't be around my family 24/7. And I didn't realize the level of crazy that we're dealing with out there. So again, you can start other accounts, like anonymous accounts, perfectly fine on X. People do it all the time. It definitely gives you a couple layers of anonymity. You can, there's smart research that, because if you just attach that account to a known email address that you're already using, you wasted your time. You got to create a couple layers of security in there. So be smart about it, but get out there and fight the good fight, because they're doing it. Megyn Kelly is such a disappointment. I actually posted about that today, and I want you guys to see this because this was something new that I had not seen before regarding Megyn Kelly. we know how Megyn
And when
Kelly
I was sitting,
going after Ben Shapiro. And I want to show this post to you because I had never seen this video before. And I think it's very important for people to realize, see it, and put things in perspective.
sitting on the couch, a loser, which is what happened to me after NBC, with nobody wanting to hear from me, nobody liking me. The right was like pissed about the Trump stuff, and the left was pissed off about the NBC stint at all, never mind how it ended. I was just sitting there feeling sorry for myself, Miranda, and Ben Shapiro called me and said, MK, get up. You got to get off that couch. You should come out here to California and take a look. They were still out there at what we're doing. And he wasn't trying to hire me. He was just trying to help me. So I went and I looked at the Daily Wire operations, and he got me so excited about the medium. I left and I was like, this is what I want to do. And it took me a couple more months to actually launch the thing, but it really is because of him that I'm here.
What a good friend he is,
Totally.
and successful.
And when
Would have been nice if she'd, returned the favor. And because I guarantee you, Candace Owens wasn't looking out for Megyn Kelly when she was at her lowest. Wasn't Candace Owens calling her up and encouraging her or anything else? It was Ben Shapiro, and completely being just altruistic. Like, hey, man, I care about you. I'm worried about you. Let me show you what you could be doing. It's time to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get going again, Megyn. So if it wasn't for Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly would still be sitting there on the couch feeling sorry for herself. But, how quickly they turn for ratings. The cult is big mad in here today. Oh, I know. The more they get mad, the more that we know we're over the target. Dana Lash says this is the biggest psychological op she's ever seen. I think this is a foreign adversary fun. I've been saying this since November. Been saying this exact thing, and for those of you watching, it's true. I knew it exactly. Soon as I started constantly, when I was really before that, it was right at September when all I was doing was debunking things like palm guns, camera guns, flying drone guns, tunnels underneath Charlie guns, exploding microphones. Anytime I would debunk any of those things, immediately I was getting hit with, you're a Fed. It was just bot activity. You're a Fed. It had nothing to do with Candace. You're a Fed. You're paid by Israel. I saw that immediately at September. And when you go back and you look at some of these accounts, like half these accounts were started in September, October. They were gearing up, and that just happened to be right after Elon had made it to where your country of origin showed up. So they had to dump all of these sock puppet and bot accounts, and they had to start all over. And that's why you're seeing these low follower account sock puppets. It's not going to stay that way because they freaking follow each other, and they and they build up their own followers. So it starts looking more and more legitimate, and it's like a self-licking ice cream cone. It just gets, they start building off of each other. What were you saying, Jen, before I interrupted you?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that going back to, being threatened and being doxxed and all of that stuff, a couple of my friends off of X got swatted multiple times. So thankfully, I live way out in the country, like in the middle of nowhere. And my closest neighbor is my sheriff. And I've talked to him because I was getting death threats from our friends over in Somalia and up in Minnesota about 4 months ago.
Yeah, the kind people running daycares.
Yes.
The
yes.
Daycare pirates. They're the daycare pirates.
I mean, like straight up death threats. So I talked to the sheriff, and he's like, "Do what you got to do." And the chief of police, they're all like, hey, target practice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, luckily I have a really good working relationship with all the law enforcement around here as well. So
yeah, it's important.
It is important. Hi, Gary. It's so discouraging. Jesse on fire has lost his effing mind, and I honestly think he's working with. He is. I already know he is. I trust me. I know he's working directly with Candace. They text each other. Her, Baron Coleman, Jesse on fire, Ian Carroll. Like these. This is again one big self-licking ice cream cone. They're all boosting each other, playing off of each other, planning things out. I can't say what to what level of coordination, but I know it's coordination, and it's been happening since September. These people have been retweeting each other, sharing each other's content, doing all the things that the right just doesn't do. And with all of their followers coalescing, coming together, and just this monolithic block of pure BS pushing this stuff out left and right while we're sitting back here trying to play catch up.
What do you think's what needs to happen to have these people to start turning on themselves?
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
You don't think?
No, I don't. Look, I am not so disillusioned that I think that there's going to be this day of reckoning. It's not going to happen, folks. The only thing, the best case scenario, realistically, is that we get an alternate, equal, and opposite force. Because, people, again, I hear it all the time, oh, you guys are going to look real stupid when the trial comes out. I just talked to people today on X saying what evidence do you have? And I actually pulled up Grok, was like, Grok, list all the evidence against Tyler Robinson. And they're like, oh, those are just Fed talking points. They're going to discount all of this stuff, folks. So don't think that I would love if one day I am just completely, whatever, like everything I've said has been proven true. I'm missing the word because my brain's not working because I'm sick, but, validated or whatever you want to say. It's not going to happen. That's crazy talk. The only thing that we can do is the same thing that Fox News did back when there was only MSNBC, NBC, ABC. They created an alternate. All right. And, you guys say whatever you want about Fox News. I don't watch it. A couple shows I watch on there. But for the most part, again, that was a big thing. That was a big thing. It didn't immediately diminish ABC News, NBC News, and all the leftist talking heads. But it had an effect. It had a pushback effect. At least we had another source. And that's all that I think we're ever going to get out of this. So, vindication is the word I was looking for earlier. I'm not going to be vindicated. People out there, you guys, we're not going to be vindicated. They're going to continue. They will never admit, the vast majority of them, probably 90+%. They're never going to admit they were wrong. They're going to shimmy out of this and move things around. And oh, I never actually said he was guilty. I never actually said that, Erika Kirk did anything wrong. Even if it comes out and it is just perfectly proven that everything that Candace said was untrue, she's going to lose very little followers. And that's just the reality of it. The only thing we can hope for is that we have a equal and opposite pushback on it, and we continue to get more followers. And the fact that the truth is important, we hopefully at some point will start to outgrow her. That's the only thing we can hope for. We really need some IDC merch instead of I don't care. It's I don't Candace. She capitalizes on everyone else. You should capitalize on her. She's so pissed. Me and Jen are working on some merch. I've always been, I don't know. The thing is, at the time, again, folks, what people don't realize, I have a full-time job. I run a business. That's how I make my money. This isn't it. We're losing money here. And it's okay. Happily to do it. And these so-called friends of Charlie, Megyn, Kelly, Tucker, refused to push back and defend Erika. Yeah, and TPUSA. It's Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles is one of the slimiest among them, as far as I'm concerned at this point. And Brandon Tatum's no better. I got swatted. Yeah, it happens. Look, these are all the things you're going to risk. You just got to figure out, hey, is it worth it? Is it worth facing the consequences and hopefully being able to sit back, whether it's your deathbed or just be able to look back in your life and say, you know what, I took risks and it was worth it. And maybe I suffered consequences. Just because you're doing the right thing doesn't mean that you're not going to reap negative consequences. That's not how this works. I mean, look, all you got to do is look at the apostles. Didn't turn out all that well for them. It did in the very end. But on this earth, you may never be justified. It's just a fact. But is it worth it? I think it is. I'll be able to look my creator in the eye and say, you know what? I screwed up a lot. But here's at least I was willing to stand. I was risking everything, God. And I was fighting for the truth. And I think that's worth it. And I use the quote all the time. Charlie Kirk, famous for saying, truth isn't always popular, but it's always worth it. And he set the example. He paid the consequences. He wasn't afraid, and he knew he knew that he was going to be targeted and killed, and yet he still went out there every single day without a bulletproof vest, without any real security, without, with all the security measures he could have and should have probably taken. He went out there and fought the fight. And the more of us, and that's the thing too, there is strength in numbers, there's safety in numbers. The more of us that do this, it's hard to target one of us. And this is where the candy cult is thriving. It's like I wake up and I see this lies from Candace Owens, I see the lies from Ian Carroll, I see the lies from Ryan Matta, I see the lies from Baron Coleman, and 100,000 other ones. Coach Colin, Zach Costello, like just go down the list. It's like, who do I target today? And my answer is always like, you know what? I'm going for the head of the snake. Like that's where it needs to be. So they have strength in numbers, and it's easier to target us because there's so few of us actually out there doing this stuff. Erika was 4 when she moved to Arizona. The person who is supposed to be Erika has an upper, I agreed with this right away. It sounds like somebody from like Michigan, Ohio, something like that. People from Arizona do not have that dialect. I agree. That's one of the first things that stood out to me as well. Why you spend so much time to comment on Candace Owens, which is a waste of time. By doing so, I fear you grieve her more attention. I've already talked about all this. No, it doesn't give her more attention. It gives account. I don't understand this mentality. Then we should all get off social media, especially those that are in the politics. It's like me saying, hey, you know what? If we just left the Democrats alone, then their message wouldn't be amplified. Like, where on earth does that make sense? It's like me saying, you know what? If I didn't push back on the gun control lobby, it would just all work out. Like, I don't understand it at all. Like when you see lies, you got to call them out. That's the only answer to any of this stuff. I think Candy and her Can-Detard army make way too much money working together to turn on each other. I think it will take a lawsuit to stop them. I agree with that. That is right now the only thing that could possibly hold them accountable is a lawsuit. And I think, and look, I already think that Jesse on Fire is hedging his bets. That's why he's going from, TPUSA and all, like he's taking an alternate route of saying Charlie Kirk's still alive. He's less likely to be, I think he still could still make a case that is extremely defaming to TPUSA, Erika Kirk, and everybody else. Excuse me, but it's less risk. It's less risk. They're going to go after the people saying that Erika Kirk killed him, that Erika Kirk's involved in child trafficking, that Erika Kirk's, had direct links to Jeffrey Epstein. That's where they're going to direct their focus. And just like anybody else, TPUSA or anyone that has stake in this, it only has so much resources as far as time and money. It's like you can't sue 500 people. But there's definitely some that should be on the high priority list for sure. We'll take a few live comments here. Canna Michelle 7404, after doing a little study on psychopaths, I now believe Candace is one, which means she will not stop even if sued. Could be. Aaron's saying that there's actually 678 watching. That may be on YouTube. There's actually 1,077 watching across the different platforms. So good. I don't care if there's 50 watching. We're going to come up. I don't care if I was talking to nobody. I'm going to get out here and do my best. And wherever the chips land, that's where they land. Is Candy ever going to run out of storylines? She hasn't yet. I don't see any evidence that would point to that. She can just switch it up anytime that she wants. And they're all over it. They're all over it. Doesn't really matter. Trump freed Iran. He's definitely on the process of. Look, I don't want to be too optimistic about what's happening in Iran. There's 1,000 different ways that could go right, and there's 1,000 different ways that could go wrong.
I think at this point in time, I was listening to the guys from Trigonometry. They were talking with Joe Rogan, and they were saying there can't be boots on the ground. To some extent, to finish everything there's going to be some element of boots on the ground. I don't know what that's going to end up looking like, but there will be boots on the ground at this point. There's no way around it. And look, I know everybody's hesitant, including me, skeptical against that. But just like I stated the other day, I think at this point, it is a can that has been kicked down the road way too long. And it's better that we fight them now and mitigate our losses compared to our kids fighting a nuclear armed Iran. That's the stakes that we have. Your show with Ashton got me here. You're right on target with this topic. God bless. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I love Ashton. I think he is, I don't know if he's right or wrong. I don't freaking know. Freaking that nerd. I love him. It's not like I'm a physicist, but I can't prove him right or wrong. But what he says, I think he's telling the truth. He believes it. And, I know there's detractors. I wouldn't even mind. I know he wouldn't either. Like, matter of fact, I talked to him about it. Whether there's a multiple topics that he's talked about that's controversial. But especially going back to the MH370 topic, I talked to him. I was like, hey, would you mind if we can find somebody that is credible, that is operating in good faith, to be willing to debate you on this, whether or not the video is legit or whatever else? He's like, yeah, of course. And I know that's true. And those are the people that I want to associate myself with. I think he is fighting for truth on that matter. He could be wrong, but I am 100% convinced he's operating in good faith. And that's all I can ask for. Thank you for becoming a member, folks. Again, I probably haven't even mentioned it, but if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, subscribe. Down in the description below, there is a link if you'd like to become a member. We'd appreciate that. I am going to start doing at least one. I'm trying to do at least one members only show every single week. We can spend an hour. I planning on that every Wednesday, an hour before our live show. If you guys got other ideas that I can pay back to you, people that support us, members, I'd appreciate that. Also on X, go follow me on X, and then you can become a subscriber over there if you want to support the channel in that way too.
Hey, Gary, do we want to mention who's coming on the show Tuesday?
Absolutely.
And ask if anybody has any questions?
I haven't even thought about that, so that's why you're here.
So I was able to talk to the traveling Clot, and was able to go through his agent, and we've got him booked for Tuesday afternoon. And if anybody has any questions that they want to know about the propaganda wars, about Israel, about the war in Iran, about are the people in Israel really the people from Israel, he is genius and he's hysterical. He's so good at debating all of the propaganda wars. So he'll be on, Tal Oren's going to be coming on the show on Tuesday.
Tal Oren on Tuesday. What did we schedule that?
He was down in a bunker when we were trying to work out the time, but she said she was going to get back to me as soon as we were able to nail down an exact time.
And we were trying to determine whether or not we were going to do that live or pre-taped. I'm still working that out, folks. Bear with us. No matter what, if we do it pre-taped, what we will do is we will have another video. We'll try to answer some questions, add some additional context. The other thing is he's kind of limited on time. That his publicist or whoever Jim was talking to did determine that, like, we know that he has very limited time. So it won't be our normal 3-hour session where we get a bunch of questions in. But if you do have questions, start thinking about those, get those to us. And even if it's pre-taped, we'll make sure that those questions get answered for you. So either way, be looking for that on Tuesday.
Yeah, he is over in Israel right now. So he's going back and forth between his home and the bomb shelter. So I'm just happy that we were able to get a hold of him.
This is a question or a comment for Jen as well. You can still shoot us an email, dlpodcast@paramountTactical.com. We would, if there's somebody that has a screen printing company and it makes sense, We'd be happy to work with them. If you guys have additional ideas for merch, I'm terrible about it. Jen is much better than I am about this, and we're going to get you guys some merch. We're going to get the dlpodcast.com set up to where we have merch on the website. We've talked about the challenges. There is merch on our current website. So it's the name of this channel plus your normal suffix.com. But again, because we are a company that, I don't know, that exercises the Second Amendment rights, anytime that we mention it or put links to it or whatever else, but there is some merch in there. You can go check that out, Dangerous Liberty merch. But we're going to get something set up completely separate. So if you guys want to support the channel that way, we're happy to do it. And we'll get you some cool stuff. And if you have recommendations or ideas, send it to us, dlpodcast@paramountTactical.com, and we will see if it makes sense and go from there. Let me put that up there. Let's see here. I think Candy has writers like in TV. Look, she definitely has. Number one, we found out for sure the other day that she's reading off a teleprompter. I don't know if you guys caught that. We did. As we were watching her whole show, we watched her whole show the other day, and we watched almost all of her whole shows in the last couple of weeks. I think I missed one. So for all you detractors out there trying to say, you got to watch her whole show, and it just all makes sense. No, you can watch 3 hours. You can watch 45 minutes of BS or a full hour of BS, and it's still BS in the end. But yeah, she definitely has writers. And where that was very evident to me was the first Fort Huachuca podcast that she had. The way that was written and scripted, I knew right off the bat that there was something else going on with there. Our good friend Lucas, thank you, sir. Look at that. Thank you very much, buddy. Man, we got some great supporters out there. And CJ Correnti get to 10 Paramount Tactical memberships. I'm getting better, folks, but still got the man flu. All right. Anything else you can think of? Jen, let me see if there's any big comments that we need to hit real quick.
I did just send you the mock-up for the IDC t-shirt, which is
All right.
hysterical. And we're going to be putting the obscure YouTuber shirts up as soon as I confirm when they're going to be ready. So if you guys are interested in the obscure YouTuber t-shirts with our illustrious leader on them, they should be up sometime. I'm thinking probably by the end of the week. And I think Gary actually posted a photo of them. So
Let me show. I'll go ahead and throw this up there so you guys can check out this one. See what you guys think about this. Let me remove our image file. That's not it. There you go. All right. So here's one of the concepts. We'll make a few of them. Probably do a run of like 100 or so. See how well they do. And if you guys have other ideas, but I really like this one. I think it's on brand. Looks pretty awesome. And if you guys got other ideas, let us know as well. But that was all Jen's work. She did a great job. She is amazing.
I appreciate it.
Yes, I did see this. Gary, did you see Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles fighting over Candace last night on Friendly Fire? I did see that. And it just, once again, established the fact that Michael Knowles is just slimy, in my opinion. Like, I can't stand wishy-washy people. Can't stand it.
I watched that too. It was pretty lame.
Should do a members only and style my hair with green berets. I know where you're going with that. You spelled it right. Yeah. I know which berets you're talking about, though.
I'll have to pull my beret out of my drawer. I was gifted a beret a long time ago from one of my best friends. I'll have to
Oh,
get that
she's talking about
beret
the
out.
actual
Yeah, I know.
Berets. But yeah.
Yeah.
I had a picture of one. I've shared it multiple times. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm just going to throw this up there too.
The felt is pretty worn on mine.
This is what she's talking about right here. I'll get a bunch of these in my hair just for you guys. Maybe put a few in my beard as well.
Oh boy.
Show by date. Why is this? Here we go. Here's what Candace was talking about. This was a retired Green Beret. This is what she just means. There we go.
Oh, great day alive.
We'll get it though.
She has problems with complications.
You need to have Jay Dyer on to discuss problems of Christian Zionism. Christian Zionism. This topic would be informative to your audience as far as Candace. He would agree with you. Yeah, we'll get some people on that are on the different sides of the perspective. I'm fine with that. And again, it's really not even. This isn't even like a big tenet of Christianity. So you can have all the divides you want on this. And no matter how, if you say, hey, I'm a Zionist, I'm not sure exactly. It sounds like this person is against Christian Zionism, which is fine. I can be like I can be a hardcore Zionist like Charlie Kirk was. And then I can still disagree with the government like Charlie Kirk was and did. Ultimately, we have the gospel. We know the plan of salvation. It has nothing to do with supporting Israel or not, and trying to figure out what is Israel and what is not Israel and what all that means. A lot of that's going to be open up to interpretation. Again, where I kind of stand on this is I was completely indifferent to this whole thing, Israel and Zionism. But what I can tell you is the people that are so adamant against Zionists, I want nothing to do with those people. They're liars. This is the candy cult in the whole web of them. And they use so many different tropes to try to convince people. Like it's just constant gaslighting from them. And I see that on its face. Whether or not you want to support Israel, to me, is a completely separate matter from all of this. I don't believe for a second that no one will ever convince me that Israel is being manipulated constantly by Israel's continually being manipulated or manipulating the United States or Trump. Like, you're just not going to sell me on that. That's the level that they try to make it out to be. That's where I'm at with this. After a lot of research, a lot of watching, listening, and just looking at what's going on. Well, look, folks, hopefully you found that helpful and informative. Get out there, fight for the truth. It's important. I don't know what to say. Look, we still got a major threat going on with the sleeper cells. I think we're going to continue to see these terrorist attacks here in the United States. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. And, like I said, just find different ways to fight back. Did you see Ben's video of candy word pronunciation? I've seen a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them out there. I'm not sure if this is a brand new one, but I know he made one going back a few weeks ago. But they're all pretty funny. Or just watching her in real time say things stupid. Like, we all mess up on words, especially when you're on camera. I swear to God, like half my brain gets put somewhere else once the camera goes on. And part of it's because you're self-conscious and you're thinking about words and all these other things. But anyways, point being, all right, look, continue to fight for the truth. It's super important. Continue to think about, be security minded, have good situational awareness. If you got a gun, you're trained, you're confident, carry a gun. If you're not, get trained, become confident, become competent. Your security, your family security, your responsibility. 911, emergency services, as great as they are, they're always minutes away when seconds count. Like, we as Americans should be self-reliant, and that comes from the medical side, security side. So just be careful out there. All right, folks, listen, we appreciate you very much. Jen, thank you for coming on and jumping in here with me. I appreciate you. And everybody else out there, until next time, stay armed, stay ready.
Bye,
Talk to you soon.